Okay, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do a little ceiling repair, fairly easy to do. Electrician smashed a big hole in so he could fish his cable through for his light. So I've already been round it. I've got a metal stud here. I've put a board up. I've marked round the board with my knife. As you can see, there we go. Now I would have shown you this bit, but I didn't press record on the camera. I'd already started it. I just jumped down there just to check it was recording and it worked. So anyway, we are where we are. So I've marked it out now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my multi-tool. I'm going to cut this out nice and neat. Careful not to damage any of the metal stud. It'll take me a couple of minutes. Okay, so I've got some 2x1 battens. I've cut some pieces, some little offcuts. I've got some drywall screws, 35mm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some timbers in there first. We've got the stud on that side, so we can fasten the stud there. So we've got our timbers there. We're going to fasten some drywall screws through just to hold them timbers, and then that'll give us something to put the board back to. What I've done, I've made that tiny little dot there. You can see that. I put a tiny little dot on the board, and that was to go to this side, so I knew the dot went to the metal stud. Let's see if it goes in now. There we go. Looks like it grew there, YouTube. We're doing all right with that one. So what I'll do is I'll fix into the metal stud first. Okay, so we put our repair back together. It's nice and solid, but just to give it the extra strength, we're just going to go over it now with some mesh tape. Now this is optional. A lot of people are going to say it's a must, but for me, if you've got enough timber behind it and it's solid, it's not going to crack. But we'll put the mesh tape on anyway, just to make sure we've got it covered. So like I say, this is for me an option. I don't always use the mesh tape. If it's a small enough repair and I've got enough timber behind it, I won't bother with the tape. The problem with the tape is you have to overfill it slightly to get the coverage. Right, so we've got our mesh tape on, solid repair. I'll mix some gear up in a minute. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so I've mixed a bit of filler up. This is an easy fill. It's a 20-minute filler. It's a powdered filler. What I want to do now is I'm going to come across just outside that line of squib, all the way around. Look back down. Just outside that line of squib, all the way down. I need to get some coverage on this. Now, because that's fresh plasterboard and that's already been plastered, you can hear we've got a lip all the way around. Now, the reason for that lip, obviously, is we've got 2-3mm of plaster on that. So we're 2 or 3 mil down. So we also, as we come round, we're going to fill this in and get it flat. So I've made this mix fairly stiff, but that's just so it doesn't shrink and suck back too much. So we're going to start at the side, just past my scrim line. We bring it across and back over with my trowel. Now, I'm going to start from the middle now. I'm going to come out and across. And another line on there. Okie dokie. What we're going to do now is we're going to rule that off. A little bit in there. Rule it off. Now the reason I went from the middle then is I want to try to avoid it lipping on these edges. So if it had started from over here, I would have ended up dragging it. Apologies about that, YouTube. The mastic men have just come in, effing and jeffing and swearing. Okie dokie, so what I'm going to do now, I've got a bit more of a trowel. I'm going to work it from this edge now and come outwards. Like I say, it just prevents me getting that lip on that edge. Just going to tidy that up. Come around these edges. Now, what we're going to do now, is we're going to give that 10 minutes to slightly start firming up. There we go. So I'll give that 10 minutes to firm up. While that's firming up, we'll knock a bit of water in with this, make it a bit thinner, then we'll be able to go over and give it a second coat. Okay, top tip for you. We're just going to brush them edges with a little bit of water. The idea is we don't want to be sanding when we're finished. Show you how to do it all, wet finish. Wet finishing is the future. It really is. Now, the reason I've done this is I just want to keep the edges really fine. There we go. So I've took off now. It's mainly moisture. We took that off. That'll keep the edges nice and fine. Like I say, we'll leave that to pick up a little bit. And we'll go over it with a bit of a wetter mix. Get it flat. Okay, so we put our first coat on. We've allowed it to firm up a little bit. We've got some more Easy Fill 20 here. This one's a little bit wetter. I don't want it as stiff, because all I'm trying to do now is I'm going to bring this through. Actually, we kept the edges nice and fine, so I'm just going to bring this through now. We're going to get rid of them scrim lines, just make sure we've got enough coverage. So a little bit on your trowel, nice and easy. Bring it over. So we dragged a bit on that. There we go. A bit on this way. Okay, so what we're going to do now is going to run it over with the trowel. Clean off our edges. Now, we're going to allow that to firm up. We've got two options here. We can let that firm up, we can come back to it in the morning, give it a light sanding, or we have some different mix that we can go over it with, which is a ready mix. We'll go over it, it's a joint and skim. We'll just bring it right the way through. We'll wet our edges up, show you how to finish it without sanding. It'll be lovely and flat, it'll be like glass. Okay, so we put our first two coats on this and it's firmed up now. It's lovely, it's flat, and it's feeling fairly smooth. What we need to do now is give it a top coat. So for the top coat, we're going to use 2-pret joint and skim. So it's a pre-mix filler. It's only good for fine filling. It's no good for doing the full repair. So what we're going to do is we're going to go past the original pass, with the trowel, bring it on edge, take it back off. So a bit on the blade. I'm going to start with it fairly flat to the ceiling. You can see there, it's on fairly thick. So it's probably on 2mm, 3mm thick. I'll bring the trowel on edge, come across, and rule off what I don't need. So when I'm doing these repairs, I always do 3 coats. The reason I do the 3 coats is so you can finish it without sanding. So again, I'm going to come past my original, fairly flat, you see, and then I'm going to take off what I don't need. So it's a fairly simple process. Okay, I'll just bring this through fairly fast now. So all you're looking to do is you want to keep your working edges as fine as you can, and you just want to make sure you've got that coverage. Now, this stuff dries when it gets contact with the air. So if you put that on in a thick repair, it'll stay like that forever. It'll just stay really wet. It won't dry properly. And when it does, it'll look a mess. So we've got it on. We've troweled it flat. Now we've got 2 options going here. Leave it till the morning, come back, do a bit of a light sand around these edges, or put the handboard down. We're going to brush here, bit of water on it. Now, when I'm doing this sometimes, I get told, it'll flash, you'll be able to see it when it's painted. I can assure you, you won't. I've been doing this job now, I don't know, 20 odd years. I've learned every trick in the book. There's nothing I can't get right. And I always get to see what it looks like when it's painted. Believe you me, if there's any problems by now, I'm sure I would have been told. Okay, so now, trowel, nice and clean. If I say nice and clean, I'll give it a quick wipe. Okay, now nice clean trowel. I'm just going to go over around these edges. And what I'm looking to do, if you can see that, it's just the moisture. We're just going to take away any of that little lip. And there we go. Now, you can see what's come off. It's barely anything. I'll run over it now with my trowel. It's as easy as that. Now, this dries, like I say, with the air, so it's fairly dry already now. That middle bit will still be a tiny little bit wet. I'll give it 2 minutes, let that dry, I'll run over it in the hand, make sure it's nice and flat. Okay, so I can run my hand over it now. It's flat, it's smooth, and it's dry. So that is how to do a quick repair on the ceiling. Fairly painless. Like I say, when that's painted, you won't be able to see it. I'm back here next week. Painters should be in here on Monday, I've been told. It's Friday now, I've been told painters coming in on Monday. It's normally a lie. Site agents like to do that to me all the time, just to keep you here and get your work done. So, I'll come back, we'll have a look at it on Monday, maybe Tuesday when the painter's been in and painted it. But you won't be able to see it. It'll be an invisible repair. We know it's solid. We've got plenty of timber in there. We've got scrim tape covering it all. We've flattened it, give it 2 coats, give it a final coat, a top coat as I like to call it. Brought all our edges in. And that's how to do a ceiling repair. So if you like what you've seen, like and subscribe. Plenty more stuff coming on the channel. Thank you so much for everyone supporting the channel so far and for watching. Thank you.